Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the garden. It's early March and nothing is growing in the garden. This is a picture from last summer, which is much better to look at than what the garden looks like now. Even though we are early in March, it is not too early to be planning for this next growing season. And I have found a online tool to help me with my garden planning. Well, planning anything really, and I've used it to good effect to plan this year's garden, and I want to share it with you. And you may have heard of Trello. It is an online project management tool, and it's free, as you can see down here in the lower left-hand corner. It's free. It is basically a very easy to use, very flexible tool that allows you to build boards as indicated by this blue rectangle, and within boards you build lists, and here you see two lists on this one, and within each list you can put these cards, and they don't look like much, but as I'll show you in a bit, you can actually put a lot of information in those cards. And I'm going to show you how I use Trello to start organizing my garden. So we click on sign up, and it will ask you to create a free account, and we'll call it, since I already have an account, so excuse me, wrong one. And let's create a new account. And we don't want to save the password. And go to your boards. And it says welcome to Trello. And what it's going to do, it's going to walk you through this process. And we'll call this one garden. You can organize anything you want in your life on as many boards as you want, and right now we're going to organize the garden, so we're going to name the board right up here, garden. And what it does is it will give you the things to do, doing, done, the standard default standard default 3 lists. We'll leave it at this and keep going, and we can make changes here, right? Then it's going to add some cards for our things to do list. And we don't want to add any attachments or whatever. No thank you, no thank you. And we'll just say no. And now here's the board we've created, and it's asking me to confirm my email, and come on now. Go back up to full screen. I didn't mean for you to do that. Since it's a demo, I'm not going to confirm my email here. I can still build this list. Now, things to do. We can, of course, plan the garden layout. Hit enter, and that gives you another one. Right, and then when we're done, add card, we hit the escape key, and it takes care of that. And what we can do here, of course, is as we start working on these things, we can move the cards from list to list until it's done. But here is where this becomes really, really useful for my garden. This is the default, but we can add more lists. And in this case, I am going to add a list called plants. Then I'm going to add one called sow seeds, and another one called plant outside, and another one called growing. And then we'll hit the escape button because that's all we want. And then let's go grab the done card and move it back over here to the end. So you can rearrange it. Hey, that's not where I wanted you. See, you can rearrange this any way you want. So what we want to do is under plant, create a card for every plant we're going to grow. So lettuce, tomatoes, snow peas, right? What else? Lettuce, tomatoes, snow peas, carrots, squash. Okay. It's always going to want you to throw one more item in, but you hit the escape key and you run out of that mode. Here's the thing. You can now go open the card, right? Just click on the card, and now under description, you can create labels. Let me come over here to the side. Labels, checklists, send a due date, attach files, and what we're going to do is we can here give a much more detailed description. For instance, we can put any of the information we want in here. So, soil information. Now, if I can only learn to type, and that's if I can now only learn to spell, we'll leave it at that. Soil preparation. Thank goodness for spell correction. There we are. And then we can do soil preparation, planting time, what else we want to do? Where'd my list go? Soil preparation, planting time, plant spacing, row spacing, all the information you need to know, the stuff you got to look up, right? You can just put it all in here, right? Everything you normally got to go looking up in an almanac or online or whatever, you can get the information, put it in there. Okay? Save it. Well, guess what? This information is useful for all the other cards, so we're going to copy this into all the other cards. And you see that you can see that the card over here changes, has this icon here to tell you the card has a description. Let's keep going. Let's get these into all the rest of the cards. And squash as well. Add a more detailed description. Paste. Save. Done. At this point, you can take your card and you can continue on with more information. Be careful about hitting the enter key. And you can put in planting time is around here, the keyword is all in by Mother's Day. So April 20th is the last frost. Squash seeds you want to start indoors. Start seeds indoors. March 15th, say. Outdoors May, let's say 30. Plant spacing 24 inches. Save. And at this point, we can put a due date over here on the right side, due date, and put in March. It's March 6th. We can put in, what do we say? We're going to start the seeds March 15. Bam, put it in there, save it. We now have a due date. Let me close this. Now look over here at squash, down at the bottom of the row here. It's got a due date listed right there. This card is due later, March 15. We can do that to all these cards, but what I want to do is I want to just carry the squash card over. So let's say we go ahead and we plant. Okay, March 15. We can now treat this as a diary, and we can say 3/15 planted seeds indoors. And we can save it, and then later right, and so as the save, and then of course what we do, squash, right? Sow seeds, and that tells you it's time to sow the seeds. Now that the seedlings have appeared, because I just put the note in there that said they had, we're pretending it's March 21. We're going to move this to plant outside because that's the next thing to do. And let's just hit the lettuce real quick and say, let's add a due date on this, and we'll make it to be March. You see, it picks the last due date, March 15th. Let's save that as well. And now it's got a due date. And we're going to put in a planting time of March 15. That way we know what we're doing on March 15th. It says March 15th. Right. So save that and close it. And we can move the lettuce over to sow seeds, because we'll pretend we haven't sown the seeds on that one yet. And we can do that all the way down each card, each plant. And as the season progresses, right, we can keep adding stuff to right, and then as you tend to the plants, you can make note of how you prepared the soil. You can make notes of if any pests that you had to deal with, anything. Just keep this. You can just keep a diary here of everything you did during the season to this plant up until you finally harvest. And let me just show you the formatting help real quick. You'll figure it out soon enough. It supports a markup language called Markdown, so you can bold, put emphasis, create lists, create lists, create links. You can bold or emphasize your text. So it's very, that's kind of advanced feature, but the point is you can, just the way it's shown here, let's save this. And at the end of the season, well, once you got it planted outside, you grab it and put it in the growing list. And then when it's done at the end of the season, and you've got all your information, you've been keeping notes all through the season about what you've done, when you picked the first, when you picked your first squash, everything you've done. At that point, you can archive the card. Okay? And when you do that, it disappears. However, if you click on Show Menu, where's the show? Oh, gotta hit more. And then it has Archive Items. Okay. And it will show you that the squash has been archived, right? And if you want, you can. If you have to delete a card, you have to do this. You have to first archive the card, then delete the card. But here, you can send it back to another board if you want. But you can still look at it again, right? Out of the archive. See, it says this card is archived. So that you can refer back to your cards in succeeding seasons to see, to refer to your notes as to what you did, when you did what, and it's all online. And I should point out that there is also a iPhone and Android app for Trello as well, so that even though I'm doing this on my computer, you can also take your phone out to your garden and refer to your notes out there, or update your notes as well. Anyway, this is turning out to be, for me, a very good way to plan out this next growing season that's coming up. I've got over a dozen plants that I'm going to be planting, and on my particular, this is just my demo board. On my actual real main board, where I have my garden, basically it looks like this. Like I said, this is very simple. You don't need to know a lot about Trello, but there's a lot more to learn. And there's a lot more you can learn, a lot more advanced features. Maybe I'll do another video on some of the advanced features of how to post a picture, how to do advanced formatting, and things like that. You'll notice there's also checklists available to these cards as well. You can put labels. You can move the cards, make copies, change the due date, and archive the cards. Just play around with it. Anyways, I hope you find this useful and interesting. Want to take a look for yourself and explore this really awesome tool and use it for your gardening. Thank you for watching. Share it if you know somebody who might want to know about this. Like it if you liked it. Thumbs down if you don't like it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.